All right, peace be to you all. Assalamualaikum, Omar here. I just finished my Sunday run. So instead of doing a running vlog, I thought I'd wait till after the run and just talk. Um, I want to talk to you guys briefly about trying to figure out what you want to do in life. I mentor a lot of younger folks, anywhere from children for some of the science programs that I've done, to adults who are interested in becoming PAs or just trying to live healthier lifestyles. And I'm in my mid-50s now, so I figure, I know a little something, as they say. So I thought I could bestow that knowledge, or share that knowledge with others who might benefit from it. And the one thing I would say to people is figure out what the heck you want to do fairly quickly in life, because you don't have all the time in the world, quote unquote. You know, we hear that a lot. Oh, you got all the time in the world. You know, when I was in my 20s, people in their 30s would be like, oh, you're just a baby. Then I got to my 30s, people would say, oh, yes, you got plenty of time, because they were in their 40s. You know, then I got to my 40s and now my 50s, and it's elderly people saying, oh, you're still a young man. That's because you're in your 70s, you know. And I realized, I got gray hair now. Some of my friends are retired or dead. You know, a lot of the people who mentored me, a lot of the physicians are retired or dead. I just found out one of the doctors with whom I used to work, who used to train me for internal medicine, died. He's been dead for a few years. I lost contact with him. I thought, wow, man, I remember rotating in internal medicine through this guy's office. I did my first set of rotations with him when I was in PA school. Now he's dead, you know? And that time seemed like it was such a short time ago, but it was more than 20 years ago. And I've been a PA for a little more than 20 years. I was going over some of my paperwork, because I gotta, reapply for my license renewal for my DC license. But a lot of my paperwork is old. I was like, wow, where did that stuff go? Those licensing and certifications and paperwork that I needed. Where's it gone? It's in boxes, or it's on old PDF files. And it's really, it kind of was a quantifier for me to see just how long I've been in my profession. And that's not even looking at my personal lifestyle. Like, I've been married, my wife and I have been married for 27 years. 3 of our children are grown. They don't have to stay with us anymore. They can move out. Our youngest is 14, and I remember being there for the birth of each of our children. We've got 3 young men and a young lady. But that time went by so incredibly fast. I've been, Lord's allowed me to get a few degrees. So I got 2 bachelors, a master's, and a doctorate. But I remember the struggles of going through those classes, wondering if I was going to do well enough to get into particular programs, med school or PA school, or my doctoral program. And it was just, a doctorate. My dissertation seemed to take forever. There were setbacks, but I got through it. And that was 10 years ago. I got it in 2012. But I remember the struggles like it was literally a year ago. These birds are loud. Those are cantankerous blue jays. But I say all that to say, life goes by very quickly. On average, if you're relatively healthy and you are in what we could call, what maybe social economists would call a first world nation. You've got running water, electricity. People have got homes and cars, and you've got good infrastructure. You can expect to live to be about 80 years old. On average. This is according to actuary tables and then data around the world. So especially here in the U.S., on average, men live to be 78.76. So I'll round it off to 80. But that's still not a lot of time. So me being, 54 now, so what is that? It's 26 years. Like I said, I've been married for 27 years. Those years have gone by very quickly. So I might not even be here to even make 80. Or even if I do, it's going to go by fast. And if I am sitting around still trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, I would have to ask myself, like, how have I spent my life? Did I spend it just engaged in frivolity? Is that saying, you're going to be a dull person where it's all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. But you have to work. You've got to work to get to a certain level in life. Whatever that level is to you. For me, I wanted to get married. I didn't want my wife having to work. There's nothing wrong with women working. I'm not one of these guys that says women need to stay home and not work, but I think it puts undue stress on a marriage when the wife has to work. So the Lord's provided for us, so my wife has not had to work, and she's been able to homeschool our children, and they've come out quite nicely. I'm very proud of the types of young adults that they've become. But that was a decision that we were able to make, and that's because I made a certain decision to put in the work to have a certain type of income so that we could have a certain type of lifestyle. We wanted a home. We wanted to live in a nice area. My wife is from South Central LA. I'm from DC. And, our neighborhoods could be kind of rough at times. So I didn't want to live in a neighborhood where there's drive-by shootings and that kind of things, different possible drug deals going on in the alleyways and so forth. So, it costs money. It costs money. So I put the work in to do that, to be able to afford that. You got to be decisive about what you want to do. A lot of times if you ask a child what they want to do, say, I want to be a ballet dancer, a fireman, an astronaut, a chef, a multi-gazillionaire, a basketball player. So they're kind of all over the place until they get older and they learn this concept of time restraints. Doing things like I do, which is medicine as a physician associate, even once you get the degree, it still takes a long time to develop a certain type of skills. That's why a lot of places don't want to hire PAs, with less than 5 years of experience. Many places in other professions, they even say, well, we want somebody with at least 3 to 5 years experience because it takes time to develop skills in particular jobs. Especially in the STEM fields, so science, technology, engineering, and math. And you have to have a proven track record and so forth. That takes time, so you can't fool around. And there's nothing wrong with seeking out different careers. Like I'm a third career. For me, PA was a second career. Other people it's a third or fourth career. But you just got to know that you're going to have to put time into that. So time is of the essence. So just try to figure out what it is you want to do in life. Have a very serious conversation with yourself. There's limitations on what you may be able to do. I may want to be a professional basketball player, but that's not happening. But once you figure out what you want to do, you got to be willing to put the time and effort in and make the sacrifices necessary. That's it for now. I wish you guys the best of success in your positive endeavors. If you have an interest in becoming a PA or a health educator, or you're a runner like me, feel free to subscribe. If not, that's cool too. I'm I wouldn't consider myself a hardcore YouTuber. I've been on YouTube for 8 years, but this is a little more than a humble vlog. Alright guys, take care. Peace.